The creaking floorboards. The old house had been abandoned for years, but something still lingered inside. Every night, the new owners could hear the creaking of the floorboards, as if someone was walking through the empty rooms. At first, they tried to ignore it. They told themselves it was just the old house settling or the wind rattling the windows. But the noises only grew louder and more persistent. One night, the couple decided to investigate. They crept through the darkened halls, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper. As they reached the top of the stairs, the creaking grew louder. They followed the sound to a closed door at the end of the hall. Slowly, they opened the door and were greeted by a sight that chilled them to the bone. The room was filled with old furniture, covered in dust and cobwebs. But in the center of the room stood a chair with a figure sitting in it. As they approached the figure, they realized with horror that it was a mannequin, its lifeless eyes staring back at them. Suddenly, they heard a sound behind them and turned to see the door slamming shut. They were trapped with no way out, and the creaking of the floorboards continued louder than ever before. Panic set in as the couple tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. They tried to calm themselves, telling each other that it was just an old house with a faulty door. But as the creaking of the floorboards grew louder, they knew that something was terribly wrong. They turned back to the mannequin and saw that its position had changed. It was now facing them, its head tilted to the side. Then, they heard a voice, a soft whisper that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It said, "You should have never come here." The couple screamed, but the door remained shut. They were trapped with no escape. As the night wore on, the creaking of the floorboards continued, accompanied by the sound of something moving in the darkness. Finally, the door creaked open, and the couple ran out of the house, never looking back. In the light of day, they returned with a team of investigators, determined to uncover the truth behind the haunted house. But when they entered the room, they found nothing. No mannequin, no furniture, nothing but an empty room with creaking floorboards. To this day, the couple still shudders at the memory of the creaking floorboards and the whispering voice in the darkness. They know that they will never forget the terror that they experienced in that old, abandoned house.